If you woke up today and you were like, man, I really hope I get to watch a girl build a bouquet while she talks about dog genetics, I have really good news for you. It is impossible to talk about dog behavior and training without talking about genetics because every dog is so different, not just in how they look, but in how they think and they act and they respond to the world around them. So I've got lots of flowers here because there's lots of different behavioral drives that shape a dog. We've got prey drive, social drive, impulse control, environmental sensitivity, confidence and resilience, defense drive, herding drive. And every dog has a unique combination of these drives. Think of it like their own little behavioral bouquet. Now, when dogs are intentionally bred, especially for work or temperament, we tend to see a more stable, predictable set of traits. Let's take a Belgian Malinois from a strong working line. These dogs are often bred specifically for police or protection work. Their parents, their grandparents, their great-great-grandparents, so on and so forth, they were all selected for things like defense drive, confidence, clear-headedness, and impulse control. And it doesn't mean every Malinois is perfect, but when the breeding is done right, their behavioral traits are deliberate and repeatable and pretty predictable. Same thing goes with a Border Collie or Australian Shepherd that's bred for herding. You're likely to get a dog with intense focus, strong eye contact, and high stamina because those are the traits that are going to help them do their job. Or a field-bred Labrador, great social drive, trainability, and prey drive balanced with really solid cooperation. Even in some pet lines, responsible breeders are going to work to preserve the traits that are going to make a dog more successful in its home or in its role, whether that's hunting, working, companionship, whatever it may be. But what happens when we start mixing breeds without a specific goal? Now, let's say you take that Labrador and you breed it with a poodle. That's your classic doodle, right? You could get the best of both worlds, or you might get a dog that's environmentally sensitive like a poodle, and with a really strong prey drive, right, like a Labrador, and almost no impulse control from either side. There's really no guarantee what behaviors will show up and what amount these behaviors will show up, right? We could have less of this, we could not have that at all. And the more you mix, the more you're just grabbing traits from both sides without a filter. Now, imagine that doodle breeds with a German Shepherd. You're taking some of these traits, right? And then you're adding a defense drive and guarding instincts. Ooh, that's fragile. Then maybe that offspring, let's clear this back out, breeds with a mutt. And this mutt's got all these different genetics, right? Now we're stacking all these layers of conflicting drives into one dog without any real insight into what traits are coming forward and being present. Even though it's lovely, it's a mess. Each generation of unintentional mixing makes the behavior picture muddier and more unpredictable. And then we lose the ability to say, this dog will likely be confident. This dog's going to need this specific job. Instead, we might get a dog with high social drive and high defensiveness, or high prey drive, but really low confidence. Drives that are pulling dogs in opposite directions. Now, I want to be really clear. This does not make mixed breeds or mutts bad dogs. Trust me, I love them. But it does mean they're harder to train predictably because we don't always know what drive we're working with. That's why understanding your dog's individual genetics and behavior can be so important and can help you train your dog a little bit easier. If your dog comes from generations of purpose-bred working lines, you might already know your playbook in terms of training. But if your dog is a mix of mixes, you'll need to spend a bit more time figuring out which drives they inherited, how strong each drive is, and then how to fulfill each of those in a healthy way. Training works best when it's meeting the dog that's right in front of you, not just the breed that's on paper or on your DNA test. And we can't really force our dog to behave a certain way and have any of these drives. And once we really understand what our dog is made of and we dive a bit deeper into their underlying genetics, then we can really start to unlock some solid and lasting changes in our dog's training. Because every dog is born with their own behavioral bouquet. It is our job to learn how to work with it so we can see it for the loveliness that it is. That's my cue. I gotta go. Bye.